Bonjour, je m'appelle Madame Edel. My name is Madame Edel. Bienvenue, welcome. Welcome to the Introduction to French Language and Culture on VHS. I'm going to stick to my notes because every time I try to ad-lib it, I start over again, so bear with me here. I'm a teacher at Chappaug Valley School, which is in Washington, Connecticut. I teach French. I also teach the English language learners, and on VHS I teach French, and sometimes I teach the German course. You might want to take a few notes. I'm going to say a few things that might help you throughout the class, and especially if this is your first VHS class, some of the terms and the names of places and things can get a little confusing. So you can always watch the video again, but there may be a few things you want to jot down. My background as a language teacher includes several exchange programs in high school and college. That was really my thing when I was your age. I loved going abroad. You can read that in more detail as well on the widget, which is the profile picture of me on the home page on the left. So if you want more detail, I'll give you a little blurb right now though. After college, I moved to France. I lived in Paris for about 5 years and then moved to Germany and lived there for another 7. That's where my children were born. When I was living in Europe, I worked for several international companies, but when I came back to the US, I realized that the two things I like doing the most, that's working with young people and languages, were a perfect fit for teaching. So that's how I got here. I enjoy teaching online classes, but there are some challenges. It's not the same as face-to-face, and if you've taken online, you know what that means, and if this is your first online class, you'll see there are advantages and disadvantages, just like everything. But I really would like to get to know you better, and that's why I want to make a little pitch here for adding a profile picture of yourselves. If you really don't want to put a picture, at least put a picture of something you like to do, something that we can connect you to, so that when we're communicating together, I kind of have some kind of image to help me remember a little bit about you, okay? You can do this under the class list tab. So updating your profile is under the class list tab. The course expectations are outlined very clearly in week 0, but you may find the amount of information a little overwhelming at first, especially if this is your first online class. I want you to know that I'm going to be patient, especially at the beginning of the course. The most important thing is to communicate with me if you have a question or don't know how to do something. You can do this in the private topic area of the course, or PT. In fact, that's where I'm putting this video, so I hope you found it. You'll be surprised at how flexible I can be if you communicate with me. If you let me know there's a problem, it's a lot easier for me to react and to help you than if you just don't communicate with me at all. I do want to give you a heads up about grading. In the online environment, it's very black and white. I will use the rubrics and follow the instructions when I grade, so if the assignment is to post by a certain day, it's important to do so for full credit. Usually the rubric has points off if you're posting your first response after Friday. For example, in the discussion area, the rubrics are all in lesson 0.6, so you can, I go back there all the time and cut and paste the rubrics when I'm grading, so if you have any doubts, go there, or again, you can ask me questions as well. There are several different kinds of assignments, so you have to kind of check. For discussions, for example, it's important to post by Friday usually. Each week starts Wednesday, and if you post by Friday, then you'll get, you know, that counts for part of your credit, because we can't really have a discussion Tuesday night at 11 o'clock when the weekend's Wednesday, Tuesday at midnight. So the idea is to make your first post by Friday so that people can kind of respond to it. And you can add more detail over the weekend, but at least get the conversation rolling, okay? The first week, you're responsible for lessons 0 and 1. Lesson 0 contains all the nitty-gritty information about how the course works, so it's really important to read it carefully. There aren't a lot of points associated with it, but that's where all the rubrics are and all the instructions and all the things that you explain how the course works. The information is always accessible throughout the course, so you can go back to it. New lessons, like I said, start Wednesday at 6 a.m. and close Tuesday at midnight. If you have to post outside of these dates, in general, you'll have to post to the private topic. So um, there are some valid reasons to post late, but generally speaking, like I said, with the grading, it's pretty black and white. You know, if you've given me a good reason ahead of time, that's always much better than after the fact. And you can have your site coordinator contact me if you have um, any doubts or any explanations that, you know, a site coordinator might be able to add. Okay. One last thing. Oh, if you're going to be absent, let me know. I can open a lesson early, and I can also be more flexible about the due dates. If you know you're going to be absent for a certain amount of time, it's always better to plan ahead. I think those are the really, really important things in terms of how the course works. You're going to look at all the nitty-gritty as you get to know the site, to get to know everything a little better. I hope I've answered some of your questions. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi to my new students and hope that your school year got off to a great start. And let me know if you have any questions. Au revoir.